Good morning, everyone. My name is Claire. Thank you for joining us as we share about our Big Step experience. So, the theme of Big Step this year was prime. It was all about living the prime life and how to get to that. The dictionary definition of prime is the state or time of greatness, strength, vigor, or success in a person's life. So the first night that we were there, the lesson was about living life to the fullest. And if you would have asked, so this was Monday night, if you would have asked me Monday morning what living life to the fullest was, I probably would have answered with something like going out with my friends, not staying in, like saying yes to every opportunity that comes. And as the lesson was going on, I just had this light bulb moment of that is not living life to the fullest at all. Living life to the fullest is putting our life in God's hands, the greatest hands, and just placing it there and letting Him take us where we need to go. What you choose now sets the stage for the rest of your life. So what the decisions that we're all making now is what's going to set the stage for later on living that prime life. And this verse from that night comes from John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it to the fullest. We get to choose what life we're going to have, and by doing that, we place our lives in God's hands. And to me, that's very humbling that with Him that we'll be able to, if we trust in Him, we'll be able to live this prime life that we're all trying to get to. And what if the things that we think are going to give us life aren't actually going to give us the life? So, if we think that going out with our friends is going to give us the best life, that's not it. What's going to give us the best life is trusting our life with God and in His hands. So the bottom line of Monday night's lesson was, your best life is only found by placing it in the best hands.
Morning.
Morning.
So our second session, which would have been Tuesday morning, it was titled Ability versus Availability. And some questions that Stuart asked us were, who, me? Why does God want to use me? Why does He feel that we need to do so? He talked about how we are constantly aware of who we aren't and what we aren't, and what we aren't and who we aren't is getting in the way of living our lives for God. Most of us are trying to get God's attention in ways that do not even matter to Him at all, in ways of having certain clothes or doing certain things or playing certain sports. None of that matters to Him. All He cares about is you trying to follow Him, live your life for Him. He doesn't care about anything else. He's not concerned about your ability, but your availability. And one thing Stuart said was to tell God, I'm available, here's my life. Use it, take it, mold it. Use me to spread your word. And if you give God your availability, you have no idea how far your courage will stretch, how far He will take that advantage. He cannot transform who you pretend to be at all. So one of the verses that he used was Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20, and that says, now to Him who by the power at work within us is able to accomplish abundantly far more than we can all ask or imagine. And the bottom line of this lesson was, God's not concerned about your ability, but your availability. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. The next session, the third session, was called Sowing and Reaping. So sowing versus reaping. And that means whatever you sow today, you will reap tomorrow. Whatever you do today, you will have a consequence for it in the future. No matter if it's a good decision or a bad decision, before you can live the prime life, you're going to have to deal with the bad stuff, the dark side, or also known as the devil. What he also said was, today matters, right now matters, and your next decision matters. Sorry. So, always think about that. Think about what you do today and what you do tomorrow, what you do right now is going to pay off, or you will pay for it in the future. Everything you do has a consequence, and if you act like this isn't true, you're mocking God. And that is said in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "Do not deceive yourself, God will not be mocked." So basically, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Those who sow to satisfy their own sinful nature will reap the decay and the death. And it goes on to say, you plant something and you get what you plant. So basically, Stuart used an example. He brought some plants on stage. He had a pot. He said, if you plant carrot seeds and you get carrots, you can't be upset that you didn't get radishes. So if you plant something terrible in your life and you get that out of it, you can't be disappointed when you wanted something else out of it. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 8, it says, "If you make bad decisions, you will pay for it. If you give your life to God, He will take care of the rest." And he asked us questions such as, are you planting the wrong seed? What seed are you planting? Is there a different seed you need to plant, and how are you going to help others do so? A quote that really stuck out to me was, you have the opportunity to have a close relationship with the Creator of the universe. And I think that's very important to think about. If you have that opportunity, you should take every advantage of it you get. So, thank you.
So the next thing that was talked about were circumstances, and the bottom line that Jamie said about it was that God doesn't always change or answer your prayers to change your circumstances, but instead He will use them. And the example he gave was about Joseph, on how he was feared by his father, and his brothers sold him into slavery. And from there, he was put into jail and went to the palace in Egypt and became the second most powerful person in Egypt. And I thought that was kind of amazing thing to happen. But then I thought back to what he said about how God will use things use your situation or circumstance instead of change it. And that's exactly what He did with Joseph. Instead of changing Joseph's life like he prayed for throughout his life in slavery and in prison, He used that to his benefit and gave Joseph a more of a life than he probably could have ever hoped for. And another example that the entire youth group could probably relate to, other than Ellis, who wasn't there sadly, but would be when our bus broke down on the highway, and like Jess said in the last service, we got to use the mic that was on the bus, and people shared stories, and we learned more about each other that way. So basically, our bus broke down, which was not the best thing, but God let us use that to our benefit, and we got to learn more about each other. So in the long run, it was a good thing. So it's basically a way for us to learn more about each other, or who we are as a person, if it's a thing that happens to just one person. And God also doesn't want to change the circumstance, because He doesn't want us to take the easy way out, and He doesn't want us to have life easy. He wants it to be a challenge for us, just like He died on the cross was a challenge. And I don't know anyone really that would be willing to do something like that for their friends, their family. So pretty much what I learned from this was that as long as you do the best with what you have, and you trust God to do His part and help you, then He will make sure you get the best, the best out of it. And that even though your life may not be the best in the middle, in the end it will all work out.
Good morning. My topics are gospel and friends. First, we'll talk about gospel with an opening of with reading from Matthew 16:25. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. The bottom line of that is, the moment you find your life is the moment you lose it to Jesus. And the speaker, Jamie, an example he gave was of his dog's tennis ball being his favorite toy. And his dog would play with this toy all the time, and he was like really old. And he called it like a poop ball because it probably pooped on the ball. And he wanted to get the dog a new toy. And he was like really excited. He got home. He's like, "Here, come on, let's play with this toy." And there's his dog sitting there with a tennis ball in his mouth. He was like, "You gotta let go of that tennis ball before we can play with this." It was like a tug of war rope. And that kind of just, he used that as an example of, you have to give up your old life, meaning the tennis ball, to be able to accept the new life of Jesus Christ, the prime life, or the tug of war rope. There's another example he gave, like jumping all in with Jesus. He told us a story when he was on a cliff, and he was going to go on a rope swing down into like this humongous water thingy. I don't know what it was. But he went up there, and all his friends were like, "Yeah, let's do this." And then he saw that the rope was like 4 feet off the cliff. And he was like thinking in his head, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die." And his friends were like, "Oh, come on, let's do this." And he didn't want to be like seen as scared. So he went and he jumped and he grabbed it and he flew into the water. That just shows how you have to jump and just risk it all for Jesus. And another thing he said about that was, like, at a pool, you go to a pool, there's people standing outside of the pool, and then there's people that are all into the pool, like not as many most of the time. And then there's some people that are just sitting on the edge, not wanting to get in, and or not wanting to be out at the same time. He just said, like, if you're in the pool and you jumped in, you're like all in for Jesus, and you're like iffy if you're right on the edge, and you just don't want anything to do with it if you're outside. And the next topic, friends, it says in Hebrew 10:22-25, and this is kind of revised. Let's consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So by that, it means you got to push your friends forward and help them out. We is better than me, and you cannot reach the prime life by yourself. He did say it was like impossible to reach the prime life by yourself. And by me, and he was talking about staying in a group. You want to stay in like a small group, and that small group can help you, or you can have a mentor to guide you along the way to the prime life, or the tug of war thing. And thank you.
So throughout the sermon, the basic premise of it is how to live the prime life. Either if it's sowing the right seed and hoping that you get a good decision, or if it's being available to God. It's up to you how you live your prime life. So, as you can see, I'm talking about shining the light. So, So people in our generation really, really like to critique things. Like the other day, whenever I was at the store, the big stuff store, I saw people critiquing the water bottles there. I mean, all you have to do is just fill it up with water. You don't really have to judge it or anything. But it's not just water bottles and stuff like that. People also critique church because they get like tired of it and they start to wonder, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just, give up on church. Don't give up on church, because the prime life is not just about getting something. It's about being something. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." So whenever I first heard this, I was pretty confused about it, like what this meant. So I thought about it for a little while, and then I got an idea of what it meant. So imagine there's a power outage in your town, and so all the power's out in your neighborhood, and then there's just one house that has a backup generator, so it has all the electricity. God wants you to be the house that has the backup generator. So, let's talk about being able to become the light of the world. This is what it's like without God. It's dark, it's scary, but it also gives you a choice. You can stay in the light, or you can stay in the darkness, or you can come into the light. In order to come into the light, you have to accept God in your heart. That's the light. Now, whenever you see the light, you can pray to God and be like, "God, what do you want me to do? I am available." And what I'll probably give you is one of these. Pretend this is a mirror, not a phone. God will give you a mirror to reflect His light on other people. He wants you to go around and He wants you to spread His light. He wants you to find people who are hurting or dying and who need God. Pretty soon you're going to be going around and people say, "Is anyone dying over there? Is anyone hurt? Does anyone need God?" And in time, it's going to be more than one light of the world. I'd like to thank the congregation for allowing us to go on this trip. And on behalf of the youth group,